I'm sitting here this morning with Molly Jones, a recent client, and I was with Molly for her second birth. Yeah, which was very different from her first birth. And I experienced Molly through the end of her pregnancy. She came into care, you came into care late.
Yes.
It's maybe just a month before you gave birth, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I want to say I switched to you as a provider around like 36 weeks. Like it was
yeah,
pretty late.
yeah, which is not an uncommon time. um, I'll just say when women are like, oh, actually, I want something really specific for my birth and I'm ready to claim it. And Molly had just an amazing uh, birth at home. And I experience you as like someone who really, like, you really knew what you wanted. And yeah, you took the steps to cultivate the kind of experience that you wanted to have, both for your birth and also especially for your postpartum. So I would just love to hear your your story. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you want to share with me and with other mamas who might be watching and wondering about midwifery care and my care and home birth versus hospital birth and what's possible for
Yeah.
birth and postpartum.
So many directions that my mind's going in. So I switched to you around 36 weeks. Um, and I was really working with a birth trauma therapist on visualization of what I wanted my next birth to be. And it kept going back to this home scenario, being in water. And then I got really lucky that you were no longer traveling during the month that I was due. And so it just felt like the stars aligned and I was able to have you and like you had like, yeah, the bandwidth to have me as your client. And I just needed this second time around to be um, to have like more freedom, I think maybe more freedom on allowing birth to just go the way that it can go physiologically, whether that means that it's going to go fast or slow. The second time for me was very fast. I don't know. Yeah, I just felt really drawn to you. And everything that I talked about with my therapist was you have to go internally, you have to look internally at what you want and what you're being drawn to and really listening to that and acting upon it. I felt like the first time around with my pregnancy, I listened to one, my upbringing, like my mom birthed at a hospital with an OBGYN and like all of my family members had done that route. And it was like, I'd never even heard of a midwife until maybe I was like, I don't even know, like pretty late in the pregnancy on my first birth as well. Like it just wasn't in my radar. And I just had, yeah, like an experience of complication after complication. And then the more that I read, like processing my trauma after the first birth, it was like, man, I should have gone to a midwife. I should have gone to a midwife. Why isn't this normal, a part of everyday conversation with mothers that it can be this amazing experience and midwives are known to be able to provide that amazing experience. So my postpartum experience the first time around was basically the equivalent of my birth, which was terrible. Um, I took a long time to heal physically, an even longer time to heal emotionally. And the postpartum experience that I got with you was just incredible. I mean, the continuity of care that you get with a midwife is just incredible. And you're not only there for the birth and like the natural like cleanup, I guess, of birth, but you're there emotionally to make sure that I'm okay to have you leave. And I did feel very confident the second time around, like, yep, we got this. I'm ready to have you go home and have my first 24 hours now, just us as a family of four now. And even that check-in 24 hours later was just so lovely. You come in all quiet and you've got like a really gentle voice. I remember you like walking in barefoot and it was just so lovely that you, yeah, like entered our home so soft. Entering, yeah, our birth bubble just so gently, and it was really lovely. And he sat down on the bed next to me, and it was just like this, yeah, wow, this is so amazing. And even the follow-up appointments like that, where you come to us rather than it's like, let me waddle out the door with this crying baby who doesn't want to go in this car seat, and we're going to drive for an hour to this appointment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, your provider comes to us and they check in on the baby where they're wanting to stay, where I'm wanting to stay. It was, yeah, really lovely. Where the first time around, I was so injured after birth, and yeah, like I'm needing so much assistance to get to the car. I'm having to sit on this cushion, and then I'm needing to like basically have a walker to get to my appointment for this mommy and me checkup. And then like it was hardly a mommy checkup. It was basically a baby checkup, which is important in its own right, but it was like yeah,
Yeah.
not the emotional check-in. And um yes, yeah, it was very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. And my experience of OB care is that there's not really that much postpartum care in general. For mom, it's
Yeah.
usually just that 6 week appointment. And then there's the 2 week appointment for baby, I think, with a pediatrician. But yeah, yeah, I'm curious when the mommy and me appointment was.
I want to say, yeah, it was so you, like, let's say I got checked out of the hospital 24 hours after delivery, but then 24 hours after leaving said hospital, I went to a different building where I had
Uh-huh.
this mommy and me checkup. So it was no longer at the hospital, but it was linked to the overall clinic of care that
Uh-huh.
I was seeing. And I don't remember the person's title, but I think a nurse or maybe a physician's
Uh-huh.
assistant of some sort. And yeah, it was mostly like, let me watch you breastfeed. Let's now weigh the baby. And
Uh-huh.
mom, how are you doing? Oh, great. Isn't this lovely? And I'm like, actually, I feel broken. This isn't
Yeah.
lovely. Um, and she was like, oh, that's normal. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that. And then, yeah, 2 weeks later, we went to a pediatrician. And then, like my focused postpartum follow-up was, I think, 8 weeks after I gave birth. So yeah, so my postpartum visit that was actually mom focused was back at the OB clinic in which I had all my prenatal care. Um, and it was not with the OB that I had been seeing because she wasn't available. And I mean, yeah, even that appointment, it's not like they go over the birth with you. It's not like they're pulling up their records to be like, "Ooh, how you doing, mom? Sounds like that was a really tough one."
Uh-huh.
You know, they had no clue what happened. Yeah, it was really tough. And like even the stitches that they gave after delivery, I had to get fixed. Um, the 8 weeks postpartum, it was just, yeah, it felt like it was one thing after another with
Uh-huh.
that experience.
Yeah. Let's go back to the yumminess of your
Home
more
birth.
recent experience. Oh, I don't want you to feel like you have to like relive that trauma again.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I've done, yeah, so much trauma therapy that I feel like I've got a lot of emotional space with it, and I can
Uh-huh.
retell the story and not get
Not as charged.
agitated, yep,
Yeah.
by it. So yep.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you. Let's see. So you're talking about I came to you, just like the coziness of, yeah, and relaxation of being cared for in your own home and the continuity. Yeah,
Yeah.
do you want to say something about the closing of the bones
Oh my gosh. It was
postpartum
lovely.
ceremony?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, the postpartum aspect outside of even just appointments with you, it was the check-ins via cell phone was really lovely, and then setting up this I don't know, maybe like ceremony aspect of the closing of the bones. It was so
Yeah.
lovely. I had my best friend there with you, and it was um yeah, you come in with like this herb pot of oregano. I don't even know all the herbs that you used. I know oregano was the main one that I could smell. And just this lovely herb bath that you get at the end. And but it starts off with the room getting really hot, and you're wrapping me up in all of these blankets, which is really lovely because you've spent like 10 months expanding, and then closing your body up and getting all tight and cozy, and you're singing to us, or you were singing to me, and Sula started singing to me, and it's this massage oil and a full body massage, like down to my toes and fingertips, which was just so lovely. And then once I was done resting with the blankets all tucked in, going into the bath and taking this really nice steam bath. And that's when you brought in the herbs and the oils for that bath, and you're just like washing off the steam that I just had. It was
Mhm.
just, yes, so amazing. It's such a lovely ritual to kind of put a bow on the process of 40 weeks of work that your body just did, and then like obviously a big event with childbirth itself, and you get time to do that initial healing, but then you get this ceremony with you to really just take it all in and be like, wow, what an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really meant to mark that threshold of, yeah,
Yeah.
from the expanding and the opening, and your body is just as open as she'll ever be at birth.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, from the inside out. And yeah, and then to be wrapped up like all of the parts of the body, the hips and the knees and the ankles and the elbows and the ribs and just
Yes.
everything and around the skull, just to, yeah, just,
Hmm.
yeah, bring everything back together. And yeah, and then, yeah, the massage is about just, I think, bringing kind of you back, like also into your body in a new way
Yeah.
after birth, and also
Hmm.
giving pathways for that, any excess energy from birth, to
Yep.
giving them pathways, that energy pathways, just to to go back into the universe.
Yeah.
um yeah, because there's
Yep.
so much energy in birth and it can get stuck. Right, that's
Yeah.
one definition of trauma, is just, yeah, that's sticking when you can't like metabolize something completely. So it's really helping to metabolize any residual energy from the birth, and just, yeah,
Yeah.
open all the meridians. And
Totally. Yeah, I remember whenever you got to a point within the massage and you're like, you might start leaking now. And as soon as you said that, I started dripping milk from my nipples, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're ready to release that energy too.
uh-huh, yeah, yeah. um for for me, it was so special to have the steam bath back in the bathtub where you birthed. And yeah,
Yes,
just how like important the place of the bathtub was for you, like the stones
definitely.
of the bath, to really, yeah, share that birth
Yes.
energy with you. Is there anything you
Yes.
can say about that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, a part of the visualization that I did with my therapist was how I would imagine the transfer of energy, and something that I used to do when I was training and running. I would grab sticks along my running way, and I would imagine that the earth was taking my pain and it taking it on for me so that I could continue running. And so I transferred that same idea with what I wanted that birth to be like. And my bathroom had a stone wall, and So I was kneeling in front of that stone wall, so facing away from you and Owen, and I just would be placing my palms on that stone wall, and I'd be imagining all of my pain and energy going into that stone wall, and I'm internally thinking, thank you for taking this away from me so that I can continue on.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I just heavily relied on that stone wall in that bathroom.
Yeah, so important. And to be held, to like know that like you really knew, like your birth team wasn't just the people around you, the
Yeah,
human people. It was
yeah,
also those stones and the earth and the place,
yeah,
like the whole system.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really felt the gratitude to those stones during that steam.
It held my hand through both big events.
Let's see, what else wants to be said. um yeah, like what was missing, or like what were you still longing for, that like
Yeah,
particularly that you really felt um met by me with that. That sentence doesn't really work very well, but
yeah, no, but I
uh,
get the sentiment where, yeah, just like what I felt like was missing, and apparently was missing because I was drawn to you, even though I already had a different midwife provider. Um, so kind of going back to that same sentiment of my birth trauma therapist, really going internally to myself of walking towards what I was being drawn to, and I didn't feel emotionally drawn to the other provider. I thought that she was great, and I thought that she provided great care. Um, I don't know, but yeah, there was like that emotional connection that felt like I was still missing every single time. And um, when I was having those appointments with them, I kind of just was like, okay, this is just the way it's going to be this time around. Like, it's better than the last, but not exactly what I thought it would be the second time around either. Um, and then whenever, yes, I had massages with you, I learned from in a prenatal yoga class that you provided prenatal massages. And so I booked an appointment with you for prenatal massage. And I think during the first prenatal massage, you mentioned that you were also a midwife. And yeah, during those 90-minute massages, I mean, I want to say we had like 5 or 6 prenatal massages. It was quite a few. And it felt like I was also having prenatal appointments with you during those massages. And I got to, yeah, just talk about my pregnancy thus far. I also got to talk about my first pregnancy and birth, which was obviously very different than my second time around. I just felt very drawn to you emotionally. I don't even know, like almost like at a DNA level, like you're someone that I admired, someone that I like wanted to be like almost, like what I imagined myself like growing up as almost. Like it's like, wow, I wanna be with her. I wanna be like her. She's so amazing, and just felt like I
oh,
really wanted you.
yeah, sweet. That's really just personally touching also. Yeah, especially since now you're right, you're on your path as a birth
Yes, a birth
professional.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, now
Yep,
you're
yep.
teaching the prenatal postpartum yoga classes. Yeah,
Yep, yeah, I do
yeah,
pre and postnatal yoga,
yeah,
and then yeah, you trained the me to be a birth doula. So yeah,
yeah.
walking in those footsteps in a different way, like not a
Oh,
midwife, but
in your own way. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'd love to um hear what you have to say about like, because this comes up for women a lot, um who transfer care late, right?
Hmm.
It was let's just say it was around 36 weeks. You're like, I
Yep.
know what I want now.
Hmm.
How how did your husband Owen respond, and like what was that process like? Because it's really, a challenge I notice for women. They're like so instinctual, and especially late in pregnancy, they really know with their animal bodies and like their deep instinctive intuition what is right for them. And it's
Yep.
often less conventional. And often I find that it's really tricky for them with their partners because, of course, they want everybody needs to be on the same page. So yeah, I'm curious if you
Yep.
have any wisdom without revealing anything that would be inappropriate, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think so. I'm going to take a step back from that because I think
Yeah.
there's a level of you in your pregnancy, you kind of take a while to come up with your birth plan and your birth vision. But obviously that deadline starts to approach and then you're forced to take it head on. I would s- it seems like it's like around that 36 mark to be like, okay, what am I being called to do? And so leading up to those 36 weeks, you're speaking with your partner about what the plan is. And so they get comfortable with what the plan has been thus far. And then once you've done that internal work and that internal conversation, I think what happened with us is they felt a little, maybe a little blindsided, like, wait, but the plan's been this and we've been doing this. What's wrong? Like, why didn't you tell me that there was something missing as far as like the type of care that you wanted? Because in, yeah, my husband's mind, it was like, we're not seeing an OBGYN, we are seeing a midwife. And I was like, yes, but it's not the midwife that I want to see. I think in my particular case, I had such a terrible experience the first time around that he was really willing to just allow me to do whatever I wanted to do the second time round, probably up until the point of free birthing on our own. I don't think he would have agreed to that. Or maybe he would have. I don't know. Um, Um, and yeah, so he just needed some time to marinate with it. He needed to meet you, so we had a virtual consultation with you, and I just tried to have him like be ready to ask questions that would make him feel comfortable with switching to you. I would say after that consultation with you, I felt like we closed our laptop and he was like, "Yep, I'm good to switch." And
Nice. It's
yeah,
nice to know from the standpoint. I remember that consultation. It was like an hour and a half. It was long. It was
yes.
quite a grilling. I was like, I don't know what they're going to decide. I don't know if I passed.
Yeah, I felt like, yeah, when I asked Owen to come ready with questions, he definitely came ready with
Totally.
questions.
Yeah. It
Yep.
was great. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. He got what he needed out of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I think a lot of women, yeah, just struggle around that. And it makes
Yeah.
sense to me how you're talking about, yeah, the whole pregnancy. We've kind of been telling ourselves this story of what we're doing and how it's going to be. And then, um, yeah, internally, the pregnant mama is still like things are still happening. It's such a like an emergent kind of process and knowing.
Yes.
And yeah, sometimes the partners are they're just they're one circle more on the outside from mom and baby. And so it can
Totally.
feel a little bit like a, yeah, I think you said blindsided.
Yeah, and also I think like with women, like the socialization of women in the sense of like people pleasing more than men are raised. And so it can kind of feel like you're trying to please your partner, like with what they feel comfortable with. But it's actually, you have to set what you feel comfortable with because it's about to be your body giving birth.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, yeah, that gets really clear. Like, oh, I can't do this for anybody else or anybody else's way. Like
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
it's me. I'm going to be the one.
Yep.
Uh,
So I'm the one that has to be comfortable. I'm the one that has to feel safe ultimately.
yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
um, let's see how many, yeah, how long has it been since you gave birth?
A little over a year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maisie turned 1 year on May 24th. Yeah, she's lovely.
yeah, sweet. And are you still nursing?
No, I stopped nursing like right before she turned a year old. It was such a struggle. I guess yeah, to keep up my supply while pumping because I work full time.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept doing it with for comfort measure, but then she kind of seemed like she was over it too, maybe because she's watching her older sister who's not nursing, and so she's like,
Yeah.
I don't need this. My older sister doesn't do this. I don't
Hmm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Did it happen somewhat just organically in that way?
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's nice.
definitely did, where she just was like, I want food. I don't want this. I want to sit at the table with my older sister. Yeah.
Did that transition feel good to you? Did it feel like good
It
timing or?
felt, yeah, no, I mean it felt good, but it also was like, oh, she's not my little baby.
Yeah. 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 There's always, yeah, as our kids grow, always the
Yeah.
joys and the grief are
Yes.
holding hands.
Yep.
Yeah, I just remember you in the doula training, pumping. So it wasn't long after that that
Yeah, it wasn't. And yeah, even in the doula training, it's like one side is like making drops basically, and the other side is providing everything. And it's like,
Mhm.
good job to the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. 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 I don't know if there's anything else I felt like we had so much to talk about, but also it felt like it went really quickly.
I don't even know. I guess like maybe some details of like talking to you while I was in labor slash when I wasn't in labor but thought I was in
Mhm.
labor. Because
Uh-huh.
my first pregnancy, I got an induction. I got a pharmacological induction. And the second pregnancy, I was pretty staunchly against any type of induction other than like natural, teas, walking, sex. Um, and I just felt so grateful that I got to experience going into labor naturally the second time round. And yeah, it felt like 2 weeks leading up to Maisie's birth that every evening I'd be getting a round of contractions and I was texting you like, this is happening. And Owen was like very excited and he's ready to have this baby, so I could definitely hear like the wisdom of your text where it's like just let them settle in naturally. Try to not force it. But it's hard when we're so excited to get to experience so differently the second time round. And um, I felt a little like the boy who cried wolf by the time I was actually in for real labor. That yeah, I can remember so vividly that we like went and got takeout pizza. We went on like a family hike in the evening, and I just had like the recurrence of, okay, dinner time, therefore contractions are starting now. We'll see if they stay or if it's another 24-hour wait. And um obviously the last time that's not what happened. They continued on. But I think I texted you saying like, hey, just a heads up, contractions are heading, like they're coming again. And I think you had texted me that you were climbing in Wenatchee, and I was like, oh, well, this is unfortunate if this is actually like gonna come as fast as like some labor does. But then yeah, we got home, had dinner, they kind of leveled off again, and then we got Margot down, and then they just really ramped up, and we took a bath just like you had told us to do. Um, yeah, Owen ran my bath, putting lavender oil in there, and it was really lovely. And every night leading up to that, the bath actually made them completely stop. And this particular night, my contractions really kept coming. And for probably a couple hours, Owen was asking me, do you want me to call the midwife? Do you want me to call the midwife? And I'm like, no, no, I want to make sure I'm for real in labor this time. And then at some point, I had one contraction that lasted and it was really intense. And I just remember I'd had this internal thought of, man, I wish Christina was here. And I voiced that to Owen, and Owen was like, I'm calling her right now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no longer waiting. And so, yep, I think that he dialed the phone and then gave the phone over to me.
Hmm.
And um, I just had said, like, yeah, I think I want you here. And then your response was like, okay, well, then I'm going to be there. And I just felt this immediate relief. And it felt like contractions actually even picked up again from having that round of relief.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, by the time I wanna say, like, you got there, like, at 30 minutes later, an hour later, something like that, like, you got there around midnight, 12:30. We did 1 cervical exam, and I was 7 centimeters dilated, and even I can remember, like, marking, like, that threshold of, like, I was so ecstatic that I was already 7 centimeters dilated, that it felt like you left the room and, like, I don't even know, 5 minutes later, it felt like my body was, like, naturally pushing on its own, like, I got back into the tub, and I just couldn't even stop it from happening, like, s just, like, these, like, low, like and, yeah, like, my body was squeezing, and it was something that it couldn't even prevent from happening, it was just, like, it's coming right now. Yeah, I don't know, it just seemed like every single mark that made me feel safer made the labor speed up. Is how when I reflect on it, that's how it feels to me.
Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
works.
It's funny how it happens like that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's sweet to reflect on that. And yeah, just like the relief of, okay, like my provider who I trust and know and feel really connected to, and the safest, like if she's on her way, I feel more relaxed. Like it's, yeah, facilitating labor.
Yeah,
Yeah. And being in your own home and, um,
totally.
yeah, with your husband there. And also the part of having dinner and kind of just getting through the day with Margot and then
Yep.
putting her to sleep is
Yep.
just a classic, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
Labor's happening
kind
now
of
that you're
pattern. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
And then your
Task list
body's
is
like,
done.
okay, I don't have to care for my other child anymore and I can just really focus on having this baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so great. And then I think very typical from what it sounds like in home birth fashion, where the birth tub, like we had a pool, right, rental from you, and like we set it up incorrectly, and Owen's like, we can just empty it and refill it, and you're like, that's not happening.
Yeah, I was just like for a while I felt like I was playing along because it kind of gave him something to do, but I was sort of like, I don't think we're going to be using this birth tub, but we
Yeah.
can keep, we can keep taking the next step towards getting it ready.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yep.
you were in the bathroom, like leaning against the bathroom counter, just having some major contractions. Yeah,
Yep.
it was like, she's going to have a baby soon.
Yep. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You were just so beautifully in your powerful birthing zone.
Yeah, I don't know, I was trying to take it one contraction at a time. I had like a sound bath playlist on, lights were low. We bought candles ahead of time so that I could have candles everywhere. And I just was in this like 90-degree hinge on the bathroom counter and just kind of swaying back and forth. And I just remembered thinking, just one more contraction. And then I'd relax after that one. And then, okay, one more contraction.
Yeah. What a
Yeah.
great strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like it was very, again, back to my running days where anytime I'd be getting tired, I talked about the stick already, or it would be like very small milestones where it's like, just get to that lamppost or just get to that stop sign. And
Hmm.
again, that's what I was trying to think of internally, like back to the running days, just small, small goals.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot easier to accomplish one more. And then, yeah,
Yeah. And
eventually
then
it's
feel
the
the relief
end.
of being finished with that one. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, made it.
Yeah. There's one more that of
Yeah.
memory that just came to mind of like feeling really grateful. that I got to experience labor. So my first birth, I had an epidural, which wasn't on the birth plan, but like everything else with that birth, everything went out the window. And I didn't get to feel, or like, not get, but didn't feel the ring of fire. And it was so incredible. I mean, it hurt a lot, but it was so incredible to feel the ring of fire the second time round. Like, just everything that I got to feel the second time round was just it was really incredible, really amazing. I had so much gratitude at being able to feel her drop into my pelvis and putting my hand on her head and, yeah, feeling that ring of fire where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is really happening. I made it. Like, she's here."
Yeah. Yeah. So beautiful just to articulate like the feeling everything,
Mhm.
like, and to be there for that like exquisite intensity that only happens when a person is giving birth
Yeah.
vaginally without
Yeah.
um, pain medication. That
Yeah.
you get to like you have the opportunity to feel so much. um,
Yeah.
yeah, which is part of our being human,
Yeah. It
is
it
getting to
did feel
feel.
like, yeah, just yeah, it was this universal experience that obviously each birth is so individual, but yeah, it was such a universal experience all at the same time, and it felt like such a gift to get to experience it the way that humans before us always did.
Yeah, and you came out of your first birth feeling broken. How would you say you came out of your second birth?
Just felt amazing. I felt so strong. I remember after I don't know how long we sat with Maisie in the tub, but probably an hour. It felt like a really substantial amount of time, but I remember like we felt like ready to move to the bed, and you had taken Maisie to the bed, and the two birth assistants offered to help me out of the tub, and I just remembered thinking, I think I can do this on my own. And I did. I just like swung one leg over, hefted myself up because I'm very petite compared to how giant this tub was. So I have to like push off like a gymnastics move and like hop over. And it was just like, wow, this is amazing. My body still works and I could walk on my own. And yeah, it was really nice. I mean, of course, I think the birth assistants were still like right by me just in case I got a little woozy, but
Sure.
um, it just felt very empowering and I felt, yeah, just really strong and capable.
And for the postpartum, like how did the kind of care that you received and that you cultivated for yourself, the kind of situation you cultivated for yourself, how did that help you? Like how did that make a difference for you?
Yes. Well, I had voiced to you during our massage sessions what I felt like was missing the first time around, maybe the lack of community. I was also relatively new to the valley postpartum with my first, and we definitely went around the approach of like individualistic maybe mindset. And the second time around, you had told me about this book called The Fourth Trimester, and when I read The Fourth Trimester, it really put to words what all of the emotions I felt like were missing in my first experience postpartum. I had learned about the website Meal Train, which I didn't even know was a thing. And so then I got to accept help from my community, which was really lovely. But I also, yeah, that's something that I had to learn how to do from first to second time round because you don't really quite understand what not only injury, but sleep deprivation and the hormone drop is going to do to you, and just like kind of the inability to finish a task that takes for cooking a meal. And So it was really lovely to learn about the different options of care that you have for yeah, postpartum. So I set up a meal train for us that lasted, I think, 6 weeks. It was really lovely. And um, we had a meal, I think, like 2 or 3 times a week for those 6 weeks. And then we also, on the opposite day, we had a birth doula come, or sorry, a postpartum doula come for 4 hours, which was really nice because Margot got to hang out with her and she would bring me flowers sometimes or like a tea, and she would even go grocery shopping for us on the way there, and then she'd make the meal that she'd just grocery shopped for. I would just tell her ahead of time what the recipe was, and then she'd grocery shop for that. And it was nice. She would also draw me a bath and she'd hang out with me. At times when I needed a break from the baby, even if she was crying, she would still hold the crying baby and let me go shower. Yeah, I mean, it was just wildly different on the type of care that we were
Mhm.
open to the second time around because we knew that we needed a different experience the second time around.
And that, what do I want to say? Just, yeah, what did that care let you, like, what did it let you do that you didn't get the first time?
Yeah, I mean, heal for sure. Heal emotionally, mentally, and just space to be a family of four now.
It
It felt like, yeah, we never got the space to become a family of three because we were immediately thrown into survival mode.
beautifully said. It gave you space to become the new constellation of your family.
Yeah,
Yeah, where you weren't having to do all of the struggle of trying to do all of those basic tasks for yourself and your
yeah,
now two children.
yeah,
um yeah, to have that community support.
yeah,
Yeah, that gave you some time to bond and figure out how to
yes,
be the mom and the dad and the sister of this new
yeah,
baby. I'm so glad that you gave that all to yourself. I imagine that it just allowed you also to regenerate like your deep stores of energy and life force.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, everything the second time around, it just felt like it was a gift after a gift. One after another. And I just felt so grateful that I got to have, yeah, the experience the second time around that I did.
Yeah. And now are you transitioning from your current job into, yeah, tell me about that transition. What are you doing with your work right now?
Yes, so I'm still working full time as a quality engineer in the medical device field, but the hope is that I can slowly but surely enter the birth worker space more full time. But right now I am in this like very tiring, very busy transition because I don't feel quite ready to say goodbye to the quality engineer world until I feel like I'm more established as a birth worker. So yes, it's a very busy transition right now, but yeah, the idea is that I will be over there soon.
Uh-huh. You're kind of, yeah, you're straddling both worlds right now.
Yes,
Yeah, that that can be a little overwhelming. And you have your first doula client?
I do have my
Yeah,
first doula
that's
client.
so
Yep.
great. Yeah.
So, yep, next month, and yeah, I'm just really loving it. So we've done one consultation. I'm already in the like I'm available 24/7 aspect within
Mhm.
the contract, and um yeah, it's really lovely to be able to put my own spin on the care that I would like to give her. And when she asks me a question, I try not to give like biased feedback, you know? So I'm just, here's all the information, and I'm happy to do a deep dive with you if you would like. And yeah, it's fun that I get to also, yeah, continue like in terms of like straddling. So I think I'll always straddle the idea of like having an engineering brain and entering this space. So
Mhm.
because I'm, yeah, just very, yeah, that's just how my brain works. So that's how I'll
which is
continue to
great.
operate. Yeah.
That's yeah. the world the world needs that.
I'm really looking forward to having being a birth doula and having that for my first experience next month. And what I'm imagining is, yeah, solidifying this dream that I have of entering this space, and then I can finally say goodbye to being a quality engineer.
Well, thanks for talking to me for
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, an hour about your journey as a mother, really, and a
Yeah.
human and a
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, all woven together through your births and postpartums. Yeah, and I'm excited to be working with you as a sister birth professional. Thanks everybody for listening in.